What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we are here for our AEW and Smackdown reviews for June the 5th, 2021. As you know, because of the NBA playoffs, AEW needs to be preempted again. So you get AEW at 10, and you will get this the same thing next week. And then on the 26th of this month, they are going to be preempted for whatever reason. Here's my problem. We'll get the Smackdown here in a minute. Here's my problem with AEW. You have a deal. They're going to send them over to TBS next year. What's on TBS on Wednesday nights that is preventing them from having AEW just switch to TBS during the NBA playoffs? Why not just do that? So we don't have to have these two back-to-back shows at the same time. It's two different shows, definitely two different feelings, because AEW is in front of live fans and SmackDown is in front of the Blunderdome, which I cannot fucking wait till we are all out of this shitty fucking setting we have been in since SummerSlam, the week of SummerSlam last year. Just get me out of this damn dome. Now, SmackDown starts off. Tonight we're going to have the Usos get a tag team title match versus the Mysterios. Now, on paper, fine with this match. Love to see these guys at a match. But, why are you giving this match tonight? On top of that, there's controversy in the match, so we get a rematch later in the night as the main event. So you open and close the show with this match. Why? Because that's what WWE needs to do, because they are so creatively bankrupt. I mean, they just fired Aleister Black and Ruby Riott and a couple others, with Aleister Black, who could have been used tonight to help get through the show instead of doing a main event. Like, you could have had the match done once. But no. We had to do it twice because WWE continues to do this bullshit. Now, the show starts off, before, we don't even get you have the Are You Ready theme hit and everything. No, we didn't get any of that. We didn't get no Welcome to Friday Night Smackdown, anything. Immediately, Roman's music hits. He's coming out. He stands in the middle of the ring. We get the fake Roman sucks chants, and I fucking hate this shit. You have Pat McAfee acting like the actually having people chant Roman sucks. So he's like, no he doesn't. No he doesn't. And then Roman has to stand there in the middle of the ring, just playing up to the fact that they have these fake sounds going off. It's so stupid. I cannot wait. This month needs to just fly right by. We have well over a month to go still. We have, for Friday night, we have 5 more, let's see. Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more Smackdowns in the Blunderdome before we get to the 16th, which will be the saving grace. We're finally out of this shit. Fans in the arena. I don't know if it's going to be a full crowd. I'm sure the first few episodes of Raw and SmackDown will probably be a full crowd because people want to be there, because they haven't been able to be there in over a year. So, yes, I can't wait till we're done with this. But Roman, of course, Michael Cole does, as they're playing this up, Michael Cole does hype up tonight's Intercontinental title match, which I thought was going to be the main event until what happened tonight. Roman says he had a week to think on it, and had counsel from a wise man, Heyman, of course. He changed his position on the title shot for the Usos and says it's no secret he's the centerpiece and everything revolves around him, but he's a giver, and allow this to happen. He wants to be clear. Jimmy Uso said he's going to win, and if he said that, he better win. As a matter of fact, let's not waste time, because I have a lot on my plate. I have things to do. So, get my cousins out here. He brings the cousin. Paul Heyman calls for the Usos music to hit. Out they come. Usos hit the ring. They're fired up, especially Jimmy. Jay shows Roman love. Then he calls. He says, Triumph of Truth, what's up? Jimmy, of course, Roman's like, come on, your turn. Acknowledge me. Jimmy's like, didn't I do that back at Hell in a Cell? Of course, Roman is not happy about this, because It's not like you just acknowledge him once. Every time you're in his presence, you're supposed to acknowledge Roman Reigns. It's not about that tonight. It's about locking down the tag team division, making the family proud, and becoming 7-time tag team champions. Reigns just nods his head and begins to seethe. Reigns wishes the Usos good luck and says Jimmy called his shot. He understands because he does the same, but he gets the job done. So if Jimmy says they're going to win, he needs to make sure they win. He tells them to remember that the whole family is watching. Reigns tells them to get the job done and bring him the titles when it's over. He drops the mic, looks on, the Usos do the catchphrase, and Roman just nods his head as he leaves. So, yeah. Of course, you know, the Usos are not winning the tag team titles on a random episode of Smackdown. That's like, and things are going to go bad for the Usos very, very soon, and you know that's going to happen. Like, so we have this match, Mysterios versus the Usos. Now, this is a big deal because this is the first time we have father and son versus brothers for the tag team titles. Also, this is the first time the Usos have, either one of them have wrestled Rey Mysterio since he's been back in the company and before he left, because the Usos have been wrestling for 11 on main roster, I believe, for 11 years now. They started in 2010, if I'm correct. And I know Rey Mysterio left in 2014, but no, they have never wrestled Rey Mysterio before. And of course, Dominic just started last year. And if anything, from these matches that they had tonight, the biggest beneficiary in all of this is Dominic. This dude has started his career wrestling Seth Rollins, wrestling Buddy Murphy. Now he wrestled Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode a couple times, and now he's having matches with the Usos. Dominic is being set up to be a big-time player for WWE for the future, just as long as WWE doesn't future endeavor him, which everyone expects to do because that's just what they do. So, yeah, we have this match. Really, really good match here. 4 guys going out there. Dominic showing that he is definitely going to be somebody worth watching in the near future. But, one of the best spots was early on. Rey Mysterio, you know, he has that slide out into a splash. He was going to do that to Jimmy, but Jay, on the outside, catches him into a fireman's carry, and then, in one foul motion, just runs and hits a Samoan drop onto the announce table. That was fantastic. The Usos end up catching Dominic in with a double-team pop-up Samoan drop, but Dominic still kicks out. Jay is frustrated. Jimmy tags in. The Usos stalk Dominic. He dodges a double-team super kick and then dumps both brothers to the outside. Ray runs the apron and delivers a senton to Jay. Jimmy comes back with a super kick to Ray on the floor. Jimmy fights in and drops Dominic. Dominic sends Jimmy into the post for a 619. He goes for it, but Jimmy levels him with a super kick. Jimmy goes to the top for the splash, but Dominic gets his knees up. Dominic immediately turns it into a roll-up. 1, 2, clearly, and this is the part that pisses me off. They had to do this Bush League type of finish, where Dominic has the pin. The referee has himself to where he's on one side of Dominic. So when Jimmy puts his other shoulder up, the one that the referee cannot see, the referee misses. 1, 2, 3, and Dominic and Rey Mysterio get the win. Of course, Michael Cole called it was a kick out. Of course, the referee didn't see it. They showed it on replay at least a dozen times, so you know that this was definitely on purpose. 1, 2, 3, and of course they win. The Mysterios celebrate without their tag team titles, which look really weird. They show the replay a million times. We see Roman backstage seething and tells Heyman to get his cousins now. We see Caleb Braxton with Seth Rollins preparing for an interview. The commercial shows how Rollins took out Cesaro 2 weeks ago. Back to commercial break. Back from break, and we get the announcers plugging the tour. Oh, did you know WWE's going back on tour July 16th? Gee, you wouldn't know because they keep fucking telling you every single week. Here's the thing. If WWE was to go to Money in the Bank, and Money in the Bank has half of a building filled, it's not from a lack of trying. If SmackDown, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and the Monday Night Raw after are like half filled or less than half filled because of whatever reason, it's not going to be from the lack of advertising, because these motherfuckers have been advertising this stuff since the news came out. So if WWE if Money in the Bank, which Money in the Bank should sell, WWE should, Money in the Bank should be like a sellout, no problem, because it's Money in the Bank. That's definitely going to be one of those shows that everybody's going to want to see. So, yeah. So again, not a lack of trying if WWE does not sell out Money in the Bank or any of these other shows, because they have been advertising. But I think it's just a little bit of overkill. Please tell me this is all here. I really want Roman Reigns is yelling because this guy. So, the Usos come to the back for Roman Reigns, and of course they're not going to have the full thing. But Roman Reigns, they're in the back, and Roman points out they was cheated, the Mysterios, but Reigns doesn't want to hear it, and he says it in the most, he's like, I don't want to hear it. Like, oh shit, when Roman isn't going to yell for no reason. Here's majority of the promo, though.
You called your shot. You said you were going to win, and you didn't win. You embarrassed us. What did I say? What did I say about this representation? The only thing you're lucky about is there's still time left in this show. So you better take your ass to Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, I don't care who. You better get another shot at this, and you better correct this mistake. I want this fixed tonight. Before you go, I want you to understand my position. You guys are 6-time tag team champions who made the WrestleMania show once.
Well, technically, Jimmy's been on WrestleMania twice because he was there last year. That's when he tore his ACL 5 minutes into the match. Of course, it was turned from a triple threat tag team match into a singles ladder match, triple threat ladder match, because I believe Morrison or Miz, one of those guys, was injured.
And in less than a year, with the Universal Champion, with the Tribal Chief, with the head of the table, Jay closed the show, walked out with his head held high, holding our culture, our heritage, our family above his head for the whole world to see. You understand my position, Jimmy?
Look straight at Jay.
Oh, Jay. The way things are going, doesn't matter anyways.
Oh, just gonna do Jay like that. Wow, just gonna do Jay like that. Oh, wow. So yeah, Jim, yes, that's Roman Reigns for you. And he was telling Jay for what, the entire time when he first came back, that when Roman first came back, that he can elevate him, he can make him to be, instead of which one are you, to main event Jey Uso, which we've seen until, Jimmy came back. Obviously, this is going to eventually put a rift between the two brothers, and we still have a few weeks till Hell in a Cell, definitely, but cannot wait for this shit to be over. Kayla Braxton's backstage. She shows us Rollins ambushed Cesaro 2 weeks ago and destroyed him at ringside. She brings up the possible return by Cesaro, pointing out how Cesaro doesn't give up and back down. Rollins says what Kayla is trying to do here, and she asks what happened when Cesaro comes back to SmackDown. Rollins removes his mic and chucks it at Kayla as the fans in the blender boo. She thanks Rollins, and he stares off, smiling. Street Profits are backstage talking. When Chad Gable interrupts, he's seeing a downward trend for their careers as he's been reviewing the tapes, and it's obvious that profits are down. He goes on to ask if he can lead them as their manager like he's done to Otis if they want to unleash the inner alpha, which actually he's only talking to Dawkins at this time, and let him get the smoke. They laugh. Montesh interjects, and they are not interested. The Profits walk off as they disrespect. Gable stares at them. Clearly, WWE is definitely setting up something to possibly break these two up eventually. You know that the days of the Street Profits are numbered. You know they're going to eventually break them up because this is what Vince McMahon likes to do. The only teams that are really safe are the New Day and the Usos. Everyone else, well, the Usos are going to have the little breakup for a minute because Jay's been killing it as main event Jay Uso. Jimmy has been gone for about a year and a half. So, yeah, they're definitely going to want to do something with that. So we'll definitely have to see how this goes. Then we go to the ring. It's Carmela versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, of course, on her own now. Back to old theme music, which, yeah, the creepy-ass doll music that just is creepy as shit. Has a match with Carmela. This match, basically, Liv Morgan dominated the majority of the match. Carmela puts in the code of silence. 1, 2, and that is that. Nothing else that you can talk about. Honestly, it's like Liv Morgan, people want to see Liv Morgan, people care about Liv Morgan, but nobody. But do you really think WWE cares about Liv Morgan? Do you think WWE wants to talk? Want you to focus on Liv Morgan? Nah, it's just so, I don't care about Carmela. Honestly, if Carmela would have been fired, I would have been like, oh, it sucks that she got fired, but I wouldn't have been as bad. I wouldn't have been as mad if she would have been fired over a Ruby Riott. Just saying. We see Bianca Belair walking backstage. She has a challenge for Bayley tonight. Back to commercial break. The Mysterios are walking backstage, apparently leaving the building. They got their gear, got their luggage and everything. When Sonya Deville and Anna Pierce stopped them, they said they reviewed the footage. It's clear the referees made a bad call in their title match earlier, and the Usos will receive another shot tonight. The Mysterios are okay with this. They walk back the way they came. Colin McAfee shows replay of the bad call from earlier, and that is that. Bianca Belair comes in, and she has a challenge for Miss Bayley, who, of course, has been complaining for the last few weeks that she rightfully got screwed at WrestleMania Backlash because Bianca Belair cheated, in her words, because she used her hair. Alrighty then. So, yeah. Basically, Belair says ever since she won the title Sasha at WrestleMania, Bayley has been pressed, but she hasn't done anything about it, just laugh. Belair says Bayley should realize the WWE Universe isn't laughing at her, but at her because she's so funny. Because what's so funny? She admits Bayley's laugh is getting into her more than she actually thought it would. Belair says Bayley isn't the first person to try her. She goes on about how people have been trying her since she was 3 feet tall. She let all those people in the dust as she found success. Says she has dealt with the teasers, doubters, and bullies, but after all she's been through, she never had someone laugh in her face. That's utter disrespect, and she's not standing for it. Belair says this is what she proposes. She challenges Bayley and wants Bayley to take her cackling self and beat her in the ring at Hell in a Cell. Belair promises Bayley won't be laughing then. So she's like, Bayley, what's good? She's waiting, but Bayley is nowhere to be seen. Belair asks if she's going to come accept her challenge or what. We start hearing Bayley's awful, fake-as-shit laugh, but we don't see her. Belair is looking around. Bayley finally appears on the big screen and taunts her. Bayley has been laughing at people like her, at Belair her whole life. She says she's not even there tonight. She's live via satellite. We see Bayley sitting in a room with photos of herself all over the wall. She calls it her sanctuary, where she finds peace. She accepts and says she will beat Belair for the title. She will be laughing, but she won't be the only one laughing. Continues laughing while Belair raises the title in the air. The Thunderdome screens then it goes dark, and it starts filling up with Bayley laughing all around, and it's so mind-numbingly bad. This was fucking terrible. Like, I'm fine with Belair and Bayley. They had a decent match at the pay-per-view, but holy shit, this was horrible. First off, why does Bayley have to have this awful laugh? Like, seriously, did Vince McMahon watch Kamala Harris laugh and go, we're going to have Bayley do that. We're going to have Bayley do this awful laugh and just laugh it up every chance she gets. Because this, again, has been awful. So, Street Profits are backstage as Otis paced in front of them. Otis says they're out of line, turning down and mocking Chad Gable. They have a few words before Montez Ford tells Otis that Gable is holding back. What has he accomplished since he got with Gable? Which is absolutely true. I mean, the good question is, what has Otis accomplished since his former partner turned on him? Lost the Money in the Bank briefcase, lost his girl who doesn't even have a mention of him anymore, and maybe he should check out the Alpha Academy and get his money back. He drops Ford with the one blow and then sends Angel Dawkins into the production case, putting him down. Otis walks off and we go to commercial break. And then we go to the ring. Corbin is out. He's seething. He's still seething over his crown. We see recent happenings between Corbin, Nakamura, and Rick Boogs. Corbin is even more upset now. Boogs appears on the stage with his guitar and speaker now. He introduces himself to the King of Strong Style. He starts playing Nakamura's entrance as he makes his way to the stage. Still wearing Corbin's crown, Nakamura gets to the pyro as you see McAfee standing on the announce table, enjoying the music. And then we have this match, and this was boring. It's like, yeah, Rick Boogs had an awesome intro. An awesome debut. But they've done this thing. It's been a month. It feels like. I think it has been a month, right? It's been about a month. And it's been the same thing. They've only had one match that was different in this time. It was Nakamura, Corbin, if I'm correct. It was Nakamura and Corbin the week before Boog showed up. The Nakamura and Corbin, Nakamura and Gable, Nakamura and Corbin. Can we move? Like, here's the thing. Hell in a Cell. This is how you end this. Hell in a Cell. Corbin versus Nakamura. The winner gets to keep the crown. The loser can never be called king again. And we end it there. That's all you need to fucking do. Because I am sick and tired of this feud. So, Corbin wins with a handful of tights on a roll-up. Didn't even really, you blinked, you missed it. Corbin goes to the ringside, grabs his crown, and announced to him he retreats to the ramp, but Boogs grabs his leg and trips him while he's still down. Nakamura comes over and delivers a kick, taking the crown back. Boogs and Nakamura Boogs plays Nakamura out. It's like, you've been doing this over and over again. One more time, at the pay-per-view, winner keeps the crown, loser goes away and doesn't get to be called a king again, and we move on. Then we get a sponsored replay from Progressive on the Intercontinental title match between Kevin Owens and Apollo Cruz, which saw Commander Aziz interfere last week. And then we go back to break. We come back. We go to break. We come back. And, before that, we have Owens coming to the ring. Boot to the face by Commander Aziz. Aziz beats the fuck out of him, slams a couple crates into him. Everybody gets out of the way, pushes him away. And Apollo Cruz is walking by, just pointing at Aziz like, that's my man. He walks away, and we're going to have this match. Intercontinental Champion, Apollo Cruz versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens does come out, which of course surprises Apollo Cruz because his dude just kicked his ass. So basically you get a match that doesn't go anywhere. I mean, Kevin does fight back, but it was dominated by Apollo for the entire majority of the match. And Apollo wins with a Death Valley driver on the edge of the apron. Something you don't usually see for the pin and the win. He stands tall. And then, for whatever reason, Sami Zayn comes running in past Cruz and Aziz, hits the ring and drops Kevin Owens with the haluva kit, yelling at him about this is karma that kicked him, not Sami. The referees yell at Sami to check on Owens. Sami gets to exit the ring but comes back and stomps on him. Sami backs up the ramp, yelling at how he didn't do anything. Karma did. And Owens recovers in the ring. So it looks like we're going to get another umpteen-long month feud between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Couldn't just leave it at WrestleMania, could you? Street Profits are backstage talking about Otis and Gable. They tried to give Otis the advice, but he didn't accept it. Gable was the only one being disrespectful. They go on about how they're going to send Otis right back down the dump where he belongs, and will still send Gable with him. The Prophet says they're up and they want the smoke. Again, I could just see it, and like when Gable was talking to the Prophets, he was actually talking to Dawkins. He wasn't talking to both of them, because they focused on Chad Gable and Angelo Dawkins when Chad Gable was trying to offer a position in the Alpha Academy to Angelo Dawkins. So, it's quite clear that WWE is starting to push. It's small cracks. It's small cracks that eventually they're going to break up the Street Profits. And again, this is what WWE likes to do. They'll string a tag team along for as long as they feel like it, and as soon as Vince McMahon gets fucking bored, he'll go, well, I'm done with this team, we're going to move on. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, sometimes, yeah, breaking up a tag team is good when a tag team is past their time, but it's just, why do we need to do this again? It's what WWE just cannot stop doing. Can we stop trying to break up all your fucking tag teams? I mean, they're going to have a tag team battle royal on Monday to see who gets AJ Styles and Omos, I guess, at the pay-per-view. And just the tag teams that are in there are just, it's just meh. So we'll go here. Usos are getting hyped. They announced that Talking Smack this Saturday will be Kevin Owens and the Street Profits with host Caleb Braxton and Paul Heyman. And the Profits vs. the Alpha Academy is confirmed for next week. Then we go to our main event, which if you were here for the first match, it was relatively about the same. Not much really to report about this. This was, again, you have two of the best tag team wrestlers in the world, and when the Usos are on, and they are clicking in sync, they are fan-fucking-tastic. But the match gets handicapped because they're having the match. It's going as it does. I'm like, they only got a few minutes left. Something's got to happen. And then, of course, lo and behold, Dominic goes up for the top to put Jimmy away. Roman runs in out of nowhere. Big Superman punch that knocks Dominic off the top turnbuckle. Referee calls for the bell, and the Mysterios win by DQ. After the bell, Mysterio attacks Reigns, but Reigns levels him with a big spear. He screams at the Usos as they recover, having to clean up their mess. Pretty much saying, you guys are going to lose again? You're going to disrespect us again? He checks on Reigns and asks Reigns what he's doing. Dominic is down. Oh, the referee did. Dominic is down on the outside. Reigns tosses Ray off to the outside. Landing hard on the floor, Roman grabs Dominic, launches him into the steel steps, then launches Ray into the barrier, then Dominic into the barrier. Grabs half the steel steps and rams it into Dominic's face and tries to back up. Reigns continues yelling at the Mysterios, at the Usos and the Mysterios, and then drops Ray in half the steel steps on big shot to the face. Reigns tosses Ray over the barrier and unloads on Dominic against the barrier in his right hands. Brings Dominic back into the ring and mounts him with some rights. The Usos have it covered now as they sit up in the corner and watch the assault. Heyman is also watching, holding the Universal title. Reigns chokes out Dominic with the guillotine. Dominic screams and taps, but there's nobody to help. Jimmy says, that's enough. That's enough. Don't do this like this. He tells him, let him go. That's enough. He's been through enough. Jimmy exits and he's like, not like this. Jimmy yells, like, come on, man, what are you doing? We're leaving. Jimmy hesitates, but he's about to go. He goes to exit. Roman stops him. Jay looks down at Reigns, looks back and forth between Jimmy and Jay. Reigns is furious at the sight of Jay wanting to join his brother, but Jay is still standing at the apron. In the ring, Reigns goes back to Dominic and mounts him with big punches, then lifts him up, drops him with a big powerbomb in the middle of the ring as Jay looks on in the ring like a good little boy. And Smackdown on Fox goes off the air. Was a pretty decent show, but come on, did we have to have the tag team titles being done twice? And did we have to have that shitty finish at the end? Like, come on. The shitty finish at the end of the first match. Like, come on. That was the best you could book these guys. Like, the best tag team, one of the best tag teams you have in your company, and you're just going to do that kind of finish? Just so we can get another match in the show later. Terrible. Just fucking terrible. But SmackDown, if I had to pick between Raw and SmackDown, of course SmackDown, even though it has its very down moments. Honestly, does anyone care about Carmela? No. Would it hurt to give Liv Morgan a win? Would it have hurt to give Liv Morgan that win? No. It would have been fine. Liv Morgan would have been, and people would have been happy. But, WWE, like, oh, you like Liv Morgan? You want to see Liv Morgan do something? Oh, please, we're going to have Carmela beat her. Typical WWE. Now, let's change scenery here. We're going to go to AEW and their fallout from AEW's Double or Nothing. And we are here for our AEW review now, which was a much better show than SmackDown was. Just going to put it out there. AEW, of course, does everything they can better. Even though there were some problems with the show, and we'll get on to it. We had a bull rope match as the main event of this show. A 10-minute bull rope match. Which we'll get into why I'm having problems with this thing called The Factory. Which I'm going to ask this thing at the end of the show too. And if anybody watches this, hit that subscribe button. Put this down in the comment. What was the fucking point of the goddamn factory? Plus, AEW lands one of the hottest free agents out there. And we will talk about who he is and who he is paired with as a manager. And how it's going to be a great thing for AEW. If you have a problem with it, I don't know what to fucking tell you. But this is great for AEW. Now, we started the show off with Penta El Zero Miedo and Pac taking on the Young Bucks. Now, this is on me. I could have swore when I watched the pay-per-view and they announced this match happening that they announced a tag team title match. I could have swore I saw it say the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line. But no, it was not. So we had this match, and really, really good match. Of course, you have the Young Bucks. You have Pac. You have Penta El Zero Miedo. You're going to get a fantastic match no matter what. These guys could go out there, and this is the sad part. These guys could go out there, half-ass this match, and it would still be a decent match, a 3.5 to 4 star match. Just how fucking good these four guys are. Just gonna say that right now. So you're having the match, and I can get this thing to work right. All 4 men on the apron. Fear Factor has landed on the Young Bucks. Back in the ring, Penta trades blows. Nick tries to pull. He pulls off Penta's mask, because Penta has that mask, but he came prepared and has another mask on. He delivers a Fear Factor, and Pac makes the tag, hits the Black Arrow. Matt interrupts. Brandon Cutler interferes, which helps Nick pick up a pinfall victory, and they get the win. So the Young Bucks, thanks to help from Brandon Cutler, who is the Stooge, which I find hilarious, because you know what? I didn't think Brandon Cutler would be one of those guys that they would make a heel in this company, because that's just, they spent all that time booking him to be like feuding with Peter Avalon and made him a babyface that way, but now they have him as a heel. But really good match between these four guys. One big gripe with this match is because of the way it started. And AEW has seemed to have fallen in love with, hey, the match hasn't started, let's have a attack on the outside before the match. They did that 3 times at the pay-per-view, and they did that in this match here. How many times are you going to book a match to start the same fucking way? Like, attack before the match. Can we get the 2 competitors in the match, or the 2 tag teams in the match, before we have people attacking each other? Give me a fucking break. So, we have Mark Henry's first appearance in AEW. Which, well, I mean, his first time he's going to speak, he did make his first appearance at the pay-per-view, which I believe shocked everybody. I didn't see it coming. I guarantee if anyone says, oh, I saw Mark Henry coming, you're lying. This was one of those things that AEW kept secret, which is fine, because we didn't need to see this guy coming to AEW and taking, trust me, if the AEW tried to do the last thing they did with Christian Cage at Revolution and how that fell flat, yeah, they did the right thing this time by having Mark Henry come out just as a surprise and getting the, what do I want to say? The surprise for everybody. That's all you have to say about that. So, of course, why is Mark Henry here? And is he going to shoot up right to the top? Is he going to be the next AEW challenger for the AEW championship? No.
Everybody knows how much I love this business, and I'm not here to fix AEW. AEW is not broken. What I'm here to do is turn the screws, as we say on Busted Open. So that, my friends, is what I'm here to do.
That's all he had to say about it. That's all he had to say. Short, sweet, to the point. And basically, yeah, he's going to be on Rampage every single week, and he's going to be the guy putting over talent on the commentary while commentating on matches. So that's what you do with a guy like Mark Henry. I know people are sitting there and they're complaining that Mark Henry shouldn't be there because he's a WWE guy. They're becoming too much like TNA. With TNA, the difference between AEW and TNA back in the 2000s was Mark Henry comes over to Impact Wrestling TNA back in the 2000s. They drop everything they're doing. They would drop everything they were doing to push Mark Henry over guys like an AJ Styles, guys like a Christopher Daniels, guys like a Samoa Joe. That's what made Impact Wrestling terrible. Was they dropped everything. Like, you could have a champion program that everybody was invested in, but as soon as a Kurt Angle or the Dudley Boys or even Hulk Hogan or any of these other guys who would come over, Kevin Nash, anybody who would come in as bigger names, they would drop everything and put them in the title hunts or give them the championships. That's what makes this difference, because Mark Henry is not coming to wrestle. Now, Tony Schiavone did ask the elephant in the room, are you going to get back in the ring? Of course, Mark Henry, the crowd popped for this. They all got up. They were cheering. Mark Henry looks around. He says, Tony, I'm not going to say yes, but I got a lot left in the tank. Of course, he's not going to say yes. He's not going to say no, because this is professional wrestling. And unless you are in a wheelchair, which I would never want anybody to be in a wheelchair or anything, but unless you're in a wheelchair, you're going, if you have the ability to come back and wrestle one time, then of course.
Andrade El Idolo?
Oh, that kind of spoiled that. But out comes Vicky Guerrero. She says, get out of my ring, and then brings out a man who has won championships all over the world and is a household name, Andrade El Idolo. I don't know how I'm going to like that name, but okay.
Oh my God, it is!
And he comes, the crowd is losing their minds. No music, thankfully.
One of the most talented wrestlers in the world. He has indeed held championships all over the world. Just about every championship you can win in CMLL. He's an IWGP Intercontinental Champion.
A title that doesn't exist anymore.
Here alongside Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, he's a big-time in-ring product, no doubt about it. All those championships will attest to that. And apparently Vicky Guerrero's made herself a deal.
Andrade El Idolo?
I wish they would have his actual promo. But yeah. Oh, maybe they will.
Nick's ham and egger.
Oh, okay, yeah, they do.
Vicky looks like oh.
Let me see if I can find this. Please tell me. Oh, here we go. This is his first words in AEW.
Today, I am saying, I will be the new face of all elite wrestling.
Yes, Andrade El Idolo. Which, okay, let's go with that name. Let's see how long that goes. Of course, Charlotte, Charlotte bought his fiance, puts a tweet out where it's a bunch of cry faces, a bunch of hearts. Now, there was a rumor going around. Well, they both tweeted out, or he tweeted out, let's celebrate the great news. Now, one or two things could mean that in the grand scheme of things. One, she's pregnant, or two, he's like something like they set a wedding date. That's the two biggest ones that people figured. Well, clearly the big news was Andrade El Idolo has signed with All Elite Wrestling. And this is going to be fantastic. Now, anybody can bitch, whine, moan, and complain that, oh, he's a WWE guy. Well, NXT guy, maybe, but WWE guy, hardly. WWE didn't know what to do with Andrade. No, WWE didn't care to even try to do anything with Andrade. Like, they put him, like, he came to the main roster. They did nothing with him. Even when he had Zelina Vega, they did nothing with him. They didn't care to do anything with him. Then, they brought up Angel Garza and put them together, made them a tag team. And then, what else they do? They brought up Austin Theory to make a faction. And the reason they brought up Austin Theory is because I believe it was Angel Garza who got injured, and they had a Raw tag team title match. So that became a group. And the week out, like a couple of days after WrestleMania, they were booked to be dominant and strong and just beating everybody down. And that lasted 1 fucking week. And then Andrade and Angel Garza and Austin Theory would do nothing but fight and bicker and bitch and moan. And Austin Theory eventually got dropped by them, was put with Seth Rollins for a minute. He got dropped eventually and was sent down to NXT where he's at now. And then they kept the tag team together for a bit. They had some great tag team chemistry together. They worked well together. And they went nowhere with them. And Andrade was just sitting there. Honestly, you could just tell he was going through the motions. He couldn't wait to get out of that company. And Andrade is actually a big reason why a lot of guys did not come to WWE. Bush and his brother did not come to WWE because Andrade told them they should not. He basically said, dudes, don't come here. Why would you want to come here when you lose your freedoms? They don't know what to do. Like, they don't know what to do with you. Of course, WWE, for the longest time, has been trying. They hire Latino stars and guys from Mexico because they've been trying to fill the shoes of Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, of course, is here and he still can go. But eventually, WWE is going to have to find a different person. So, Andrade was one of those guys that they thought could be the next Rey Mysterio. Same thing with Angel Garza. Maybe he could have been the next Rey Mysterio. There's always that person, and Andrade, unfortunately, was like that, and they didn't do anything with him. But here he is. He will be facing Kenny Omega for the Mega Championship in a couple days. I think it's a couple weeks, actually. But he's going to be facing Omega for the AAA Mega Championship at, I believe, Triple Mania or one of those big pay-per-views for AAA. I mean, hell, why not just do it right here? Because, they have the pay-per-view. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, great get by AEW. And it's everyone. I don't care who it is. I don't care how small of an impact they've made. Everybody, in one shape or form or another, has made WWE choke on what they were before. And Andrade is going to be no different. Andrade is going to be a major player in AEW. Should he be walking in and getting a world title match immediately? No. Of course not. He's going to have to go out there and get wins. Show everybody what he can do. The question for me is, when does he get started? When will be the first time that we see El Idolo in a match in AEW? They didn't book it for next week. Maybe it's, I don't know. I mean, it looks like Vicky Guerrero is going to be his mouthpiece, which is fine. I have no problem with Vicky Guerrero being the mouthpiece to Andrade. I mean, he did sound, in the promo, he did sound a lot better. I mean, when Andrade first started, of course, he couldn't speak English. I know one of the biggest benefits to being with the Showbot is that he does speak a lot better English. He's been working on his English. But he's in a company now where if he doesn't want to talk, he doesn't have to talk. So, yeah. Put him with Vicky. Vicky is, like, if you want this guy to be a heel and you want this guy to be hated, Vicky Guerrero is the perfect person to be his manager. Because everybody wants to boo her. Everybody wants to sit there and just yell and scream and say you suck. And, like, they get that high-pitched excuse me is like... And honestly, if she was to lead Nyla Rose, because her and Nyla Rose are going absolutely nowhere. Her time with Nyla Rose, in my opinion, is up. Vicky Guerrero managing Andrade would be better for Vicky Guerrero than her managing Nyla Rose. Because Nyla Rose doesn't need a mouthpiece. Nyla Rose can speak for herself. Nyla Rose comes off in her speeches, in her promos, pretty damn good. Why would you put a fucking manager with her? She doesn't need one. Andrade kind of still does. Yes, he sounded good. But, in my opinion, him being with somebody would be a lot better. And then we go to Cody stroking his ego and Lee Johnson versus Anthony Ogogo and QT Marshall. This match was pitiful. Anthony Ogogo definitely still very, very young. Lee Johnson doing everything he can to be good. Cody wasn't in the match that much. I mean, he came in for the end. Marshall does hit a diamond cutter. Lee Johnson comes in, breaks it up. Johnson and Ogogo spill to the outside, which that looked clean as can be. You know, the clothesline where both guys go over and where you see a lot of the times somebody fucked that up. This one went over smooth as easy. Cody looks for the crossroads. Aaron Solo comes in to distract. Ogogo runs in, clocks Cody right in the chin. QT Marshall picks up the victory. After that, he's like, I shocked the world. Tony Schiavone, you never believed in me since day one, and I proved you wrong. I really didn't care. Then, I'm going to ask this again. What was the point of the factory? What is the point of the fucking factory? This was pitiful. Anthony Ogogo has no business being on TV right now. If you're going to put him on anything, you put him on Dark and Dark Elevation. He has no business being in the ring, on TV, taking up TV time. You could have put this match on Dark and Dark Elevation, where it belongs, and given more to the Bullet match. Just saying. Chris Jericho comes in, and we have our Inner Circle victory lap. This was, just them patting themselves on the back. I'm really surprised, I'm going to say this now, I'm really surprised we did not hear from the Pinnacle, anybody from the Pinnacle. Because, yes, you want them to lick their wounds and come back later. Like, they could have did a via satellite or some kind of, picture thing at MJF's farm or something, MJF's mansion. I'm really surprised we didn't get anything from the Pinnacle, which is fine. They don't have to be there. So next week, I'm sure next week or the week after that, we will definitely see something from the Pinnacle when it comes to all of this. So Jericho begins the segment by surprising the fans and saying, each and every one, because we love you so much, you all get a t-shirt. Check under your chairs. He's playing Oprah Winfrey out here. My fucking goodness. He is playing Oprah Winfrey. Saying, you get a shirt, you all get t-shirts. And that's exactly what they did. They literally showed people, at least up in the balcony area or where the stage used to be, they showed everyone showing off their t-shirts, their free t-shirts. So, he hands over the mic, he hypes up Sammy Guevara, the reason why they're still the Inner Circle, who won the match for his team. He says at 6:30 he did at the end of the match. He's something he was in practice for years. He thanks the fans in the Inner Circle, which apparently it was Sammy Guevara's idea for them to finish live in front of fans. Obviously, and Jericho mentioned this during the scrum, everything that happened in the stadium was taped over the last few days. So when you saw Urban Meyer and his other coach there, they weren't there live. That was pre-taped, which is fine. AEW put out a tweet. AEW on TNT put out a tweet with the Oprah Winfrey gift for her. Y'all get a shirt. That's funny. Santana promises the feud with the, and I hope this is fully here.
But like we were discussing in the back before coming out here, what did we honestly, truly accomplish other than keeping this crew together? Because we still got to walk past them in the hallways. We still got to listen to their corny asses boast and brag about how much money they spend on their suits and their limos. To me, the true accomplishment is having them lying in a ditch somewhere on the side of the I-95. But that's just me. That's just me. But to keep it real, FTR tried to end our careers by power driving us through those tables. You boys try to take food out our family's mouths, and that just doesn't sit right with me. So no, this inner circle pinnacle shit is far from over.
Give this motherfucker more mic time. Thank you very much. Holy shit, that was good. Just give Santana when the inner circle is officially done, Santana and Ortiz go on their own and they become one of the best. They go back to being one of the best tag teams in AEW. My fucking goodness. Like, Santana is so fucking good. And he hasn't had the mic time, in my opinion. I'm just hoping we get to see more of him getting that mic time as we go. So, Jericho, of course, concludes the segment by promising he'll beat MJF for all the carnage he caused him. The Inner Circle will never forget. They give all the fingers, and that is that. I wish I could show you more. I could play more of that, but no. So, backstage, George Cassidy is far from done with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega and Don Callis aren't sweating Jungle Boy on his challenge in 3 weeks, which, yes, the title match, what was supposed to be next week, is actually going to be in 3 weeks on the 26th. The only thing I can come up with why they went with the 26th is Tony Khan wants to have more promotion, more hype. Why would you have Jungle Boy win a title match, a title opportunity, and give him the world title shot 2 weeks later? That just doesn't sit right with me when it comes to AEW. That feels like just cheap right there. That Jungle Boy should be getting a little bit more promotion. They should be promoting this match as a big fucking deal. Having him win the Battle Royal and then getting the title match 2 weeks later comes off to me as it's not a big fucking deal. But that's just me. Speaking of Jungle Boy, him and Christian Cage took on Private Party. This match was set up because for whatever reason, after the pay-per-view went off the air and everyone went home, they had Jungle Boy come to Tony Schiavone in the middle of the ring at Daly's place, again, with nobody around. They showed these on Dark Elevation, so if you didn't see these, you'd have to watch Dark Elevation. And he went out there, they cut a promo. Christian came back out and told us exactly what he told Jungle Boy after the match ended. And then Private Party, Matt Hardy came out and was pissed off that Christian screwed him. They had known each other for years, and he screwed him. Private Party came out. They attacked Christian. Jungle Boy saved him, and that's how we got this match. So, really good fucking match here. Now, the Private Party guys wearing their fancy clothes instead of wearing wrestling gear, that comes off as just being smug, and it's really fucking good. That is really a cool thing that they're doing for them, so I'm going to just say that's awesome that they have these guys going out there and just being smug as can be. And that just shows you there. Now, we get an assisted, let's see here. Jungle Boy rebounds from the ropes and clotheslines and a deep brainbuster on Quinn for a 2 count. He hits a DDT for another near fall. Jungle Boy traps Quinn in the snare trap. Cassidy runs in to break it up. Cage takes Cassidy out of the ring. Quinn stacks Jungle Boy up for a 2 count. Private Party misses the gin and juice. Jungle Boy gets the snare trap on again. Quinn taps out, Jungle Boy pulls off the victory, and they celebrate. Christian leaves the ring. Matt Hardy comes out from behind and hits the Twist of Fate to lay out Christian Cage. Now, I've seen this song and dance before with Christian, and it's just coming off. He's being way too nice to Jungle Boy. Something tells me on the 26th, Christian Cage is going to screw Jungle Boy out of the championship, and that's going to send the feud off between Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. I just see this happening. Jungle Boy is not winning in 3 weeks, but you don't want to beat Jungle Boy. You want to protect Jungle Boy, and how do you do that? You have Christian Cage turn heel and screw him. I think that's where it's going. This would not be the first time Christian would do something like that in a big championship match, and yeah, I could see it happening. No doubt about it. It's just Christian being a babyface just doesn't sit well. He's much better as a whiny, insufferable heel. Backstage, Taz is excited to announce that Powerhouse Hobbs and Brian Cage are going to take on Adam Hangman Page and a partner of his choosing from the Dark Order. So that'll be next week. Darby Allin and Sting come out. Sting says he'll never forget the match. He says that match stands low up to anything he's ever done. The crowd chants in unison, "You still got it." He thanks the crowd for their support. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, because it's what you do. Darby doesn't even get a chance to speak. They interrupt. They pop the screen and mockingly clap for Allin. Sting. Page challenges Allin to a match, but with a different partner other than Sting. So you have that. And then we go to what was probably the down portion of the show. The Faker celebrating her championship win. And all I gotta say here, she thanks everyone after her massive championship victory. The longest women's champion, the longest reigning champion, Hikaru Shida. Of course, down her spoils the ceremony by throwing out. For some reason, they had this goddamn plate of Big Macs. So apparently, McDonald's gave Britt Baker 1,500 coupons for Big Macs for her celebration tonight. All I know is I really could care less about this fucking women's championship reign. Basically, if you've heard any of her promos in the last 6-7 months, it was the same exact fucking promo tonight. She's boring. She can't cut a she's wrote down one fucking promo, might change a thing here or there, but it's always the same exact fucking promo. She can't carry a match in the ring to save her fucking life. Now, everyone she wrestles on Dark or Dark Elevation or on TV are going to have to carry her even more. And that's your women's champion. Congratulations, AEW. You have your Jinder Mahal as a champion. That is the Faker, Britt Baker. Backstage, Penta, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention during the tag team match early on that after the match, the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler were beating up on Penta and Pac when Eddie Kingston ran in and stopped them. So backstage, Pac and Penta Miyoto don't want any of Kingston's help after coming to save them early in the night. He asks them to marinate this idea in their head. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. He walks away. Pac and Penta look at each other, the confused look on their face. Red Velvet versus the Bunny. This match was meh. Red Velvet is not anywhere close to being ready for prime time. This is a prime time show, and she's not ready for prime time. Bunny's not really either. Bunny's been spending majority of the last year as a manager, so why am I seeing her wrestle all of a sudden? Red Velvet picks up the momentum with a far reach kick and a sharp stunner for just a 2 count. Both women trade shots. The Bunny hits a thrust kick. Blade gives the Bunny a pair of brass knuckles. Red Velvet avoids and hits the Bunny. Avoids the hit and knocks the Bunny out with, I can't even remember what the hell it was called. 1, 2, 3. She picks up the win. Who really cares? So we go backstage, and John Silver says that Donny Khan was going to gift him a title match for the TNT title, but he's not cleared, so he's giving it to Evil Uno. Uno's happy, he's proud, he can't wait to get that title match. And then Miro says that unless you are able to come at me all the way, don't even bother fighting me, and that he is going to destroy Evil Uno next week. So next week it's Miro versus Evil Uno for the TNT Championship. Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler versus Penta Elzio Miedo, Pac, and Eddie Kingston. That should be interesting. Hangman Adam Page and 10 versus Brian Cage and Powerhouse Hobbs. That is all next week. And what should be I'm sure we'll have more matches and segments named next week, so we'll see how that goes. Next up, Dustin Rhodes took on Nick Comoroto with Aaron Solo in a bull rope match. This match got 10 minutes. Maybe not even that. Now, a bull rope match, in my opinion, should get 15-20 minutes. These guys had to just go at it fast and hard. And there was no stop. There was no, like... And Dustin Rhodes is not a young guy. I'm telling you that right now. But Nick Comoroto on the ramp. When the bell rings, Dustin cracks him with the bell, closing to an upper string. Dustin clobbers Comoroto with the clothesline over the top rope on the outside. Comoroto throws Dustin over towards the audience. Dustin wraps the rope around Comoroto's neck. Comoroto lands a massive right hand. Fuego del Sol, for whatever reason, climbs on Comoroto to stop him. Comoroto tosses him. Which Tony Schiavone with the call of the night, Fuego del Londart. Fuego del Londart. There you go. Dustin catches him with a huge powerbomb. Comoroto is busted open. Comoroto throws Dustin face first into the guardrail. Dustin ducks the clothesline. Comoroto and slams Comoroto towards the ring post. Comoroto lands a heavy hit just before the match goes to picture-in-picture. So, we come down to the end of the match. Here, back from the final commercial break, Solo sets the table up, Comoroto on the outside. Dustin cracks him, Comoroto in the head with the bell. Sends Dustin through the table with a nasty spine buster. Back in the ring, Comoroto looks for the cover. Dustin kicks out. Colton Gunn takes out Aaron Solo on the outside. Dustin hits the final reckoning for a 2 count. After struggling to take Comoroto off his feet with several shoulder tackles, Dustin knocks Comoroto to the mat with a flying bulldog off the top rope. Stacks him up. 1, 2, 3. Dustin beats Comoroto. Again, I'm going to ask this. What is the fucking point of the factory if all they're going to fucking do is lose? Lose, 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 lose. That's all they do. That's all they lose is lose big matches. Yes, Dustin Rhodes has never lost a bull rope match in his career. That means Dustin Rhodes should lose this bull rope match and giving the win to Comoroto and saying, hey, I'm the first person to beat Dustin Rhodes in a bull rope match. But they didn't do that. What the fuck is the goddamn point of the factory? Dustin did not need to win the night. Yes, QT and Nick Comoroto and Anthony Ogogo won, but it didn't look good in the match in the first goddamn place. So why am I going to sit there and care about these guys? Someone tell me, why do I fucking care? So, yeah, that is your AEW review and SmackDown review. SmackDown was okay, AEW was good, except for why the fuck am I watching the factory when they continue to do nothing but lose big matches? But that is your double review. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds of the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/the France Club. And find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I will see you guys on Monday for what will probably be another terrible episode of Raw. Until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys later.